Cool. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? On this, lovely day it has been, which makes a change from yesterday. That kind of came out of nowhere. We finally get some good weather and then get hit by yesterday, and then today's been lovely. Town was absolutely packed, which is good. Just checking on views. I know we've got quite a few people joining today, quite a few from the same household. I know there's a few people that have contacted me to say they can't watch live, but we're watching back. So for those people that are watching later in the week, hope you enjoy the tasting. So this one particular was Navy Gins. Actually, last night we had Irish whiskies for our second part. Amazing tasting. And again, we had one of the distillers come on for that one. And it just makes such a difference in terms of showcasing that particular brand. So really good whiskies. On the case of whiskies, I know because a lot of our regulars here that they do tend to attend both of them. So we did band around the idea of doing something to do with Father's Day. So we're going to be doing a whiskey tasting, and we're just on the sort of the cusp of confirming which whiskies we're going to do. But one special offer that we're going to do for Father's Day, so just to keep an eye out for, is we're going to do a buy one, get one free on that particular tasting as way of a special offer. So essentially, you're buying your father one, plus you're getting one for yourself to join in and then do the tasting together from either the same household or, from your individual houses, you're meeting up virtually in some respects. So look out for that one. I will get the tickets ready for that over the weekend, and then Monday we'll send out a drop on the emails on our social media. But you'll see there'll be an offer that will be buy one, get one free. In the email and the social, you'll have a code to use, so just use that and it'll obviously double up on the checkout. But other than that, this evening we're looking at Navy Gins. Like I said in a lot of the advertisements, not for the faint of heart. But then having said that, Navy Gins sometimes scare people off. I think a lot of them actually, they aren't overbearing. They are still very easy to take down. And it just elevates certain flavors. One example we always say of that is, for example, like Tarquin's Navy Strength, their Sea Dog. That was their expression that won World's Best Gin back in 2017. Over the original, and they're essentially the same botanicals, but different ABVs. There's very different notes that get drawn out from those botanicals, and that works a lot between a lot of these brands, where Navy Strength just makes such a big difference. So you've got some great gins to have today. Obviously, bearing in mind it's Navy Strength, so you have got just under a double measure there. You don't have to serve all of that out in this particular one. Go easy. Take what you can. You've got 4 good measures to go through. So just listen across with Jas. He'll obviously explain how much to put in each time, and then with the right tonic. And so keep an eye on the scroll bar at the bottom. That'll let you know what bottle we're on, what the name is. And also we'll let you know as and when which tonics to use, because you've got 3 different ones there. You should have a tasting glass, your 4 samples, the tonics, and then the garnishes that you had there via the email that we sent out. So let me get things going by bringing Jas into the room, and then he'll get us going. We've got a special guest joining us on the second gin, so we look forward to that one. So let me just bring Jas in. Let's see. Hello.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah. Good. Right. So I think we are looking a little bit short on numbers. I know we've got a few watching from the same household, but I still think we are 3 or 4, no, maybe actually 5 missing. So I'll just leave you to just start doing the brief intro. I'll quickly go and make sure on our socials that no one's missing, and then we'll get going.
Yeah. Okay. Hi guys. How are you? Thanks for joining us on our Navy tasting. Put your comments in the chat like always. Let us know you're here, and let us know your comments on each of the gins that we're trying tonight. As Shane said, it's Navy Strength gin. So what is Navy Strength? Navy Strength is gins that are really at the 57 plus 50 mark when it comes to gin. And like you said, they bring out these extra flavors, all these other sort of top notes that you might miss at 40%. So they're really interesting to try, and they really change the category in terms of the actual gin and what you're getting from each one. So in terms of glassware, so you should have your tasting glass, a tasting glass. I know a lot of people on this particular event have brought new glasses. So use a glass like that. If you haven't, then maybe use a sort of a wine glass like this, something that has a base that tapers up to the top. Is pretty good. It allows you to get those flavors and aromas that we're going to be getting into. And yeah, so Navy Strength Gin. So the last time we did a tasting like this was, in terms of Navy Gin, was about a year ago, just over maybe April last year. So just to sort of remind you and jog your memory about Navy Strength, it's sort of a fairly new concept in terms of Navy. Prior to the sort of a few decade ago, maybe even quite recently, it was known as 100% proof gin, and it was the guys down at Plymouth Gin who actually figured out that 100% proof isn't really an appealing identity for the drink, and it scared people off, so they changed it and rebranded it to Navy Strength, and everyone's kind of just latched onto that concept, and it just makes it a bit more appealing, a bit more attractive to the consumer. And really it makes sense, because Navy Gin was basically on lots of naval vessels. Lots of Navy vessels would leave port with rum and with gin, and the gin was kept in the same compartment as the gunpowder. And this kind of goes back to pretty much sort of pirate days as well, with rum, but the concept translates. So they would leave the gin in the same cabin as the gunpowder, and basically what they would do is, if it was kind of an insurance policy, so if the gin spill, and it was going to spill anywhere, it'd spill on the gunpowder. And the point of it being at 57% or 100% proof is that the gunpowder would still light. So when they could then light the gunpowder, it'd still work, and the gin was not affecting or being affected. So if you sort of go further back in time, sort of pirate days, they would use this to prove that the gin was real, and they would pour in the gunpowder, set it alight, and they would then trade on various islands they went to. And if the gunpowder lit, then it was proof that the gin was 100%. So that's really sort of where the idea of 100% proof gin comes and why it's necessary. But obviously now it's used as a really good sort of drink, as a consumer drink, consumer product, and it's absolutely delicious. So let's move into our first gin. Like Shane said, we've got someone coming on to join us later. But our first gin is with Perry's. No, it's not. It's Portobello Road. So Portobello Road. This is bottle number 1. Everyone, bottle number 1. So maybe pour, say, half of that bottle into your glass. If you want, you can pour a bit less. It's up to you. But I would encourage to hold some back. A, because it's Navy Strength gin, and B, because you could actually make a proper drink later on with tonic and ice and everything else, as it should be. So just pour a little bit in for now, and I will tell you about this gin. So Portobello Road, made at 171 Portobello Road, made by a guy called Jake Berger. So Jake Berger has been quite an influencer in our industry, going back many years. So before I started my first bar back in 2006, Jake Berger was kind of the cocktail guy. He had this, very well-known bar in Leeds, and then he came down to London at the Star on Portobello Road, and that's where he set the Portobello Road Gin Distillery upstairs. And from there, I think even today, he still runs these gin classes. So we actually got invited down, me and the bar and the team I had, we got invited down to the Portobello Road Distillery, and we were allowed, we had a whole tour, and then we were allowed to make our own gin. So everyone took their gin home, and mine was absolutely terrible. And some of the guys did actually make some really good gins. Mine wasn't good at all. And so that was his sort of original gin. And then recently he's produced the Navy Strength gin, and it's phenomenal. And in between that, he did an artichoke gin as well, which you may have seen. I think it was only in Waitrose. But again, he likes to sort of do different things and play around a little bit. But the Portobello Road Navy is phenomenal. So if you haven't tried it, let's go for a little bit now. Like Shane, Shane was saying earlier, it's going to hit you. You're going to get this hit of alcohol. So what we'll do is we'll just give it a swirl around. Okay. So some of you guys are new to us and new to our tastings. We'll sort of go through it together, and I'll hold your hand and we'll taste it all, and I'll tell you what to do as and when. So for now, we're just swirling, right? We're just going to swirl the glass, and that will help us get rid of some of those strong ABVs, the ethanols, all those big alcohol flavors and sort of big notes that are going to burn your insides. So we'll get rid of some of that. Just open it up, let the oxygen in, and let that spirit open up. Now, just going in for a nose at the start, some of you are going to kind of go, wow, it's pretty harsh. So something to do is just sort of swirl it underneath your nose, and after a while you start getting some of these sort of aromas start coming up to you, and they might be a bit lighter, so you might get some of those sort of floral notes, maybe some of the herby notes, maybe some of those pine and lavender. But it just helps kind of get your whole sort of senses used to what is about to occur. Also, you notice, if you look at your glass, it's got a lot of legs. There's a lot of oily creaminess going on. And a lot of that is going to be, some of it's going to be due to the way they've used, lemon, for example, and the oils from within those citrus fruits or other ingredients. And other times it's going to be mainly because of the higher strength ABV equals higher sugar content, which equals a sort of a more viscous kind of spirit. So you'll notice that there is quite a big lot of legs going down the glass there. Let's now go for a little nose and see what you get. It's a little bit closed. You can almost smell that sweetness, right? You can smell that lovely creamy sweetness. There's 9 botanicals in this one. So a lot of the classic ones: juniper, obviously, coriander, angelica root, orris root. You've got lemon. I think you've got some orange in there. There's a bit of licorice, so you might get a bit of this sort of kind of sweet spice coming through from the licorice. And then there's that pepperiness from the nutmeg, and there's cassia bark in there as well, giving you this sort of this pepper. So maybe let's go for a taste. Right, so what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to put a little bit on the tip of our tongue, and we're just going to hold it there and just let it coat your taste buds. And really what we're trying to do, we're not getting to taste the alcohol at this stage. We're just getting our palates used to the alcohol content. So just a tiny sip, hold it there, and when you take it in, then just breathe out. Okay, just breathe out, and that will help kind of adjust to that ABV. Okay, so let's try that. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. And all it's done is just create a little bit of a tingle on your tongue, certainly a little bit of a mouthwash. What? Alison has no gin. Oh dear. Alison, I will come back to you. So our palates have got used to that alcohol. There's a little bit of a tingle on your tongue. It's slightly drying as well. Now what we're going to do is go for a slightly bigger flavor, a bigger sip. And this time we're just going to hold it again for a little bit longer, and we're going to let that those flavors kind of just come through a little bit. So let's go for a tiny sip. Okay. So hopefully you've got past that initial kind of kick of the ABV. and you get a tingle of pepper. As Sarah says, she's getting a bit of that pepper, yeah. And then there's this lovely, so he's added sea salt. He's added English sea salt. So it's kind of adding to this sort of, this sort of coastal sea breeze freshness. It's kind of maritime kind of feel to it. So sort of a little nod to navy gins and the concept of navy gin. And actually, you are getting some of that pine, getting a bit of lavender, a lot of sweetness there. So your tongue is really kind of just tingling nicely. And you should get some of that dry herby as well. There's a bit of dry herbs going on, and it's nice and dry. And even though it's a sweeter style of gin, in the fact it's navy, there is this lovely dryness to it. So let's add a bit of tonic. So we're going to go with let's go with a normal tonic. So we're going to go with, sorry, no, we're not. We're going to go with a light tonic. This one here, the Fever Tree Light. Okay, we're going to go with Fever Tree Light. And we're going to do a 50-50 or 2-to-1. It's up to you. So if you've put in 20 ml of gin, then put in 20 ml of tonic. Or if you want, you can add a touch more. So if you've got 20 ml of gin, then you can add 40 ml or 30 ml of tonic. But you don't want to drown the gin, right? The purpose is not to drown the gin. It's just to add enough tonic so that the gin starts opening up. And we can start getting some of these other flavors that might be hiding at that strength. Okay, so a little bit of gin and add some tonic in. Okay, give it a swirl, go back, and straight away you notice some of that lovely citrus coming out. So the citrus was kind of hiding a little bit when it was neat, and now that kind of citrus comes through. You're also getting a little bit more pine, lavender come through. Maybe it's pine, but there's a mix there. And also something odd. Maybe it's that salt, but there's something very earthy coming through. Let's go for a sip of that. And that salt really now starts coming through. It's almost very, it's almost like those, Alka-Seltzer sort of tablets, that kind of salty, fizzy. But then you've got all these other great botanicals going on in the background. So let's add some lemon, all right? So what I'd like you to do, if you've got a lemon, we're just going to add a peel, right? So we're going to take a bit of the peel off, like that. So we're just going to take a bit of the peel. The rest of your lemon is whole. And then hold it like this between your two fingers and your thumb. And take your glass, and you're just going to squeeze it once, right? You're just going to squeeze it like this. And then all these lovely oils, those lovely citrusy notes are going to just wash over the glass, coat the glass, and then just drop that in as well. And now go back, and it's suddenly just open up with this burst of citrus. It's lovely freshness. And then behind all that, you're still getting that lovely gin coming through as well. So I'd encourage you to try that again with loads of ice. Again, use that citrus, or you could use an orange or a lime. That would also work. But yeah, it's a really nice, refreshing drink, and that English sea salt just sort of comes through and works really nicely. Yeah, beautiful. Really, really nice drink. I just noticed that Al's not here, and Nikki. I was wondering why I was a little bit quiet. But yeah, I'm sure they'll watch it back. So that was Portobello Road, the Navy Strength Gin. and that's it. So this is, again, it's on our website. I should actually point out that 3 of these gins are all new to us. So even though we've stocked the brands before, the actual navy versions of these are brand new to us. So they're new to you and they're new to us. There's only one of the ones we're trying tonight, which we've had before. The rest are all new. Vicky says, I like this. The lemon makes a big difference. Love the saltiness. Yeah, absolutely. I think it works really well. And Sarah also says this one makes a great dry. Yeah, you know what? This one would make a really good martini. Yeah, absolutely. Dirty martini. You're right, because of the saltiness and the brine. Yeah, love that. Yeah, good shout. See, I should have thought of that, being a mixologist, but yeah, good one. I like that. And Joe says adding lemon really makes a huge difference. Yeah, and that's the thing. The garnishes are really, really important. So choosing the right, choosing the right botanical, choosing the right garnish for each gin really makes a difference. So that was Portobello Road. That was gin number 1. We're going to move on now to gin number 2, and we're actually going to be joined by our guest tonight. His name is Gavin. He works. Well, actually, I'll let him introduce himself when he joins us. But he's our brand rep for the next gin we're tasting. Hey, Gavin, how are you?
I'm good, Jess. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. It's a hot Saturday night.
It is indeed. I'm based in the West Midlands, so it's been warm all week for once.
How's it? You didn't get any rain yesterday?
No rain. I've had probably no rain for about 2 weeks now, which is
really.
It's normally been
Okay.
wet.
We're down in St Albans, and it was wet yesterday, really wet.
No, we've had sunshine all week here, so it's been all right. It's perfect gin weather.
Exactly. I was going to say it's absolutely perfect gin weather. So Gavin, tell us about you and your role.
Okay, so my name's Gavin. So I come from a company called International Beverage. We have a portfolio of whiskies that we generally do, but we have one special gin brand, which is Karoon, that we're going to be talking about and going through with you today. So I've been with the company a good number of years. So I look after all the off-trade for the UK now. So obviously that includes you guys. So again, along with my account management stuff, I also do the events and tastings and shows as well. More so with the malt side, but I also look after Karoon as a brand as well, up and down the country. So it keeps me busy. Very busy.
Yeah, I bet. So this is the bottle here. This is Karoon. So some of you will have seen Karoon. You'll know the brand Karoon. Is this now the new shape for all the Karoon, or is it just this one?
No, it's the latest shape. So the shape changed in 2019. The reason you would have seen the old shape bottle when it was quite a bit more stumpier, wasn't it? The old one, the old original gin. The whole purpose of the change is when Karoon Original was on a bar shelf in the on-trade, you couldn't really see the label because the label was so low down. So they had a full rework, created a brand new bottle, a little bit narrower, and then raised the label up. So yeah, every expression in the range now will have this shape bottle. So this one is a 70cl, the Karoon Original is a 70cl, and Karoon Raspberry that we do is a flavored raspberry gin that comes in a 50cl bottle.
Right. And we were just saying, right, because like I said, a lot of people here will know the Karoon brand, will have probably tried the gin before. But like you just said, this came out in 2019, right?
Yeah.
And it took 10 years or something before you brought a new gin out.
Yeah, so Karoon Original was launched in 2009 by our gin master, Simon Booley. Simon is our gin master at our distillery. So the distillery is Balmenic Distillery. So Balmenic was founded 1824, 1825. Was a whiskey distillery, still is a working whiskey distillery. But we had a part of the distillery that was being unused. Back in the day, we found this copper berry chamber that Karoon's made in. So it's the world's only working copper berry chamber. So it's the gin itself is produced in this chamber. So nobody else has a working one. People around the world may have one that's old and non-working, but we actually use ours to produce the gin. So it was around 2008 when Simon decided he wanted to use this chamber to make some gin, using the botanicals that were around Balmenic. and 2009, Karoon was created. Yeah, you're right. It took 10 years for us to create something new. And pretty much like buses, we created Raspberry and Highland Strength both in 2019. We also released one in GTR, which is Global Travel Retail. You might have seen that one, which is the gold label one.
Yeah. So
it's a bit of a high. It pretty much sits in between the original at 41.8% and the Navy one, which is 54% that we're trying today. The whole reasoning behind the new stuff was just MPD. It took us a while, but the reasoning behind it was Simon said he'd rather create a liquid that was special and ready for the world rather than just trying to throw out new expressions every couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's the reason it took us that long. Hopefully it doesn't take us another 10 years to create something brand new again.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've noticed, so obviously this is Navy strength gin tasting, but yours is a Highland strength and it's at 54%, right?
Yeah.
Is that just because it's Scottish, obviously? Is that the reason, or?
For us, Simon, when he was making the liquid and wanted to create a higher strength ABV, he felt that the 54 was kind of like the sweet spot. So it's still able to be enjoyed neat. It's still able to be enjoyed just on ice. Or obviously, you can have it with tonic or as part of a cocktail. So him as our gin master just felt that was the right point for us to distill it at. So 54 was just kind of his sweet point that he just was happy with, and he didn't want to go any higher because he said that he found anything higher was just a bit too much strong on the palate, and he wanted it. Essentially, you want to enjoy the liquid as it is, and he found that at 54%, you could still drink this neat. Although we don't fully advise you to have too many, you'll end up with a sore head drinking 54% neat all the time. However, it's perfectly fine as it is.
Good. Yeah, excellent. So just a bit about the bottle. So, I mean, we talk about the new shape. Obviously, it's got the 5 points here, which represent.
So I'll explain the 5 points. So Karoon in Gaelic means Rowan Berry, or probably the other way around. Rowan Berry in Gaelic means Karoon. Rowan Berry is pretty much the soul of Karoon. It's one of the botanicals that's found around Balmenic Distillery. The reason for the 5 point star, and you'll see it on the bottom of the bottle as well, and that's how the bottle is shaped. If you slice a Rowan berry straight in half, you'll see that exact 5 point star within inside the berry. So we felt it was fitting, and as a homage to the main ingredient in Karoon, that we basically made the bottle shape using that 5 point star. It also gives us a little bit of difference in terms of on shelf, and in terms of when you're holding the bottle, it's not a normal circle or a cylinder bottle. I think we're pretty much the only bottle that has 5 sides. So it's one of our unique selling points as well for the actual bottle itself.
Okay, well, that actually, I actually thought it was because I know you've got 11 botanicals, right? But 5 of them are foraged. So I thought it was for the 5 foraged botanicals from within the region, but obviously not.
Hey, that's not a wrong answer. There's no wrong answers, but you are correct. We do have just 11 botanicals in total, 6 traditional and 5 of the Celtic. We call them the Celtic botanicals that are found around the distillery. But yeah, the actual reason is by slicing a Rowan berry, you'll see 5 point star inside of it, and that's the reason why.
There you go. Love it. Okay, so look, so let's go for. Have you got any gin?
Yeah. Always got gin.
There you go. All right, cool. So let's go for a nose. Right, again, you'll notice on this there's a lot of creaminess. There's a lot of oils, a lot of legs on the glass. But on the nose, I kind of wafted it to my nose earlier, and there was a lot of fruitiness coming through. I noticed.
Yeah, Karoon is probably one of the more fruitier gins in the market at the moment. So we play on that fruitiness. So you still get your traditional kind of peppery kind of aromas from it. So it's a little bit fierce, but we try and play on that floral and fruitiness. So all the botanicals that are picked, so the 5 of them that we use that are around the distillery. So you've got, obviously, like I've already mentioned, you've got the Rowan berry that comes in that gives you that sweet aroma. But along with that, you've got the cold blush apple, a bit of dandelions in there, bogmeal, and a bit of heather as well. So they all complement the traditional 6. Obviously, you've got, the main staple one in gin, which is obviously juniper. We have a bit of, the lemon peel and coriander in there as well. That gives it that little bit of spice. But combined together in the chamber, they give a really light, crisp, and clean floral taste and smell.
Yeah. Yes, let's go for a little taste. So again, it's up to you guys. If you want to do a little tiny sip, that's fine. But now we've done one, we could probably go for a slightly bigger sip. That pepper is like fire. So compared to the first one, I don't know if you had the Portobello Roe before.
I've tried it. I didn't try it today, unfortunately.
Okay. There's a lot of pepper in this one that really sort of comes through. And then there's that lovely fruit as well. And maybe that floral heather, the heather and the dandelion and stuff maybe comes maybe at the start or the back. I sort of missed it the first time.
For me, you'll hit initially with the pepper from the seeds and things like that, and the bog myrtle. Then the flavor comes in terms of the fruits. Your heather and stuff kick in towards the middle, but you'll find that especially with the navy strength compared to the original, you'll get a bit of a longer lasting finish. And this is what Simon tried to achieve. It's pretty much made exactly the same way. It's just obviously reduced less with water to get that 54%.
Yeah,
which gives you a bit more of a luxurious finish and a longer lasting finish.
Yeah, you can get it right because now you can sort of get that bitterness of the citrus fruits and maybe some of that tartiness of the berries as well at the end.
A lot of the floral comes from a bit of orange peel in there as well.
Yeah,
you got a bit of angelica root, and obviously you've got your juniper in there as well, which helps with the bittersweet aromas.
Yeah. So we're going to add to this one. We're going to add a light tonic, right? So we're going to use a light again, purely because as Gavin mentioned, there's that lovely sort of sweetness in there, lovely sort of sweet fruit. So the light tonic will help counter some of that sweetness, so sort of balance the drink out again. And just a bit, right? We just want to, like I said, 50-50 or 2-1. Just want to open up the spirit and just let it. Just kind of let it open up and see what is hiding in there.
Yeah. So for our recommended serve, we'd say use a light tonic or a non-light tonic, depending on how you feel. But 2-1 is probably perfect. Again, like you said earlier on, you don't want to overpower the gin. You want the gin still to come through. You want the tonic to complement the gin itself and just make it more palatable for yourself to enjoy throughout the night or the day, depending on what you
a day like today, you can serve it very, very long. But yeah, look. So what I've noticed is obviously the peppers now dissipated a touch with the addition of tonic, and you get much more of that citrusy fruit. You can almost taste that orange peel, and then that lovely that's rowan berries and some of that apple as well. That tartness of the apple.
Yeah, 100%. The pepper, like you said, just dies down a little bit as when you add tonic, but it opens up all your avenues to different flavors in terms of the fruit. So that just exceeds everything else. And then the pepper just takes a bit of a backseat for now, allows you to enjoy the drink, especially like if you've got ice and things like that, you can just obviously accentuate the flavors even more.
Yeah, and I would encourage you guys to try this with ice. Obviously, for tasting purposes, we don't chill the drink down too much. We kind of let it at room temperature, so we allow the flavors to come through and sing. Shane said, he's getting the fruit and the pepper, quite herbal too. Yeah, absolutely. So with this, we're going to add. So normally, Gavin, the sort of recommended serve would be what normally?
A slice of red apple. So just any normal, just red apple. Just sliced up, 1 slice or 2 slices, depending on how strong you like the flavor. And just built up over ice. Again, 2-1 is perfect with tonic. So that would be our recommended perfect serve. But I think I understand you guys have got blueberries. So any kind of fruit would work well because anything would give you that intense and just help the flavors, just alleviate a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've tried it with apple in tastings before, and the only reason is it does, like you say, you need the apple to kind of come through, and it doesn't necessarily come through in the time that we have. So for you guys to not have given blueberries, if you haven't got blueberries, then raspberries or blackberries or any kind of berry, right? Strawberry, something that has that fruitiness. And I'm just going to scorch it a little bit just to help open it up, and then just drop it in. And the fruits actually just come through a bit quicker and complement the flavors. You know, and any berry, right? Because that rowan berry is so crucial to this gin. Which is why I think the berries is an obvious choice.
Yeah, no, any berry would work well. My other half, she likes to drink it with strawberry every now and again. Just anything, because gin is one of the things we can experiment with. Everybody kind of likes it different, so it's up to you to find what you prefer. We can tell you the perfect serve is red apple, and that's because it has a red apple botanical in there, and it just helps with the flavor. But if you like blueberries or blackberries or strawberries, then you're more than welcome, and just enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it.
Absolutely. As long as we're drinking your gin.
That's what I'd like you to drink. Yeah, that's for sure. It's a brand very close to my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. And why not? It's a beautiful, beautiful gin. And now it's just like, it's got a lovely sort of sweetness on the tip of your tongue, which just comes through even more.
It's a bit dangerous because for me, it becomes a little bit too easy to drink once you start building it into a tonic, and with the fruit, especially. You could drink it and not know you're drinking gin, but you still get that navy strength feel as well, which just, it makes it perfect.
Oh, it's really good. Really good. This will make a really good Negroni as well, I think, or some other type of gin cocktail.
Yeah, 100%. For those of you watching, if you log onto the Karoon website, there's a tab on there that can give you recipes for loads of different Karoon cocktails as well. So if you're making at home or with friends and family, you're more than welcome to try any of those that are on there. So those have all been pre-mixed. Pre-mixed. They've all been designed by mixologists that have used the liquid to make these cocktails. So they're all listed on there and how to make them as well.
Really good. So just by what is your preference when you drink Karoon? What is your perfect sort of serve, or how do you like it?
If I'm drinking Karoon Original, I like it as a perfect serve with gin and tonic. So it's 50-50 for me. So 1 part tonic, 1 part Karoon with a slice of red. Highland Strength, I'm only having a couple, so I like it just over ice. And I think for me, that's just the way I like it.
Do you know what? I think I'm with you. I really think there's so much flavour in the gin. I would just have it over ice.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I really like that.
You'd be struggling to sit here and drink half a bottle or a whole bottle to yourself on a Saturday afternoon. So for me, I just enjoy it over ice. Nice, just put a lot of ice I have it with. So I probably more time than before, I have a long glass full of ice and then just pour a nice double over the top and then just sip it and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's good. Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, look, Gavin, thank you. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Thanks for telling about Karoon. Again, this is on the website already, so don't forget you get a 15% discount. And Shane will tell you about that code to put in when you wish to buy it. But that is on our website. And I've just noticed there's some stuff on the back here. What are these? The botanicals? Oh yeah,
listed on the label. Yeah, so
yeah. Sorry, you won't be able to see it, but you might be able to see in the back here. There's some sort of engraving, writing in there. You might be able to see that. They're the botanicals, right?
Yeah, that's right. So you'll have all 5 of ours listed on there. I don't know if you've seen the Karoon gin packaging that came out in the grocers. So they had a little bit of a design packaging where it showed them all as an ingredient. But as you know, Highland Strength, you won't see it in a grocer. It's only specialised for the likes of yourselves and independents and specialist retailers. So you won't see it in a grocery market at all.
Okay. Oh, the Highland Strength, you won't?
No, it's specifically just for the likes of yourselves in the specialist retail market. It's a point of difference, and we felt as a brand that that's the market it's suited for. It's not ready for a supermarket, so you won't see it in a supermarket. So
amazing.
You'll have to come to get the gin.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, exactly. You have to come and see us. Love it. Thank you, Gavin. Amazing. Thanks for spending your Saturday night with us.
Anytime. Thanks, Jeff.
Enjoy the weather, and we'll see you very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Take care.
All right. Bye. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. So that was Gavin, who's representing Karoon. It's the one we just tasted with the light tonic and the blueberries. But obviously, the perfect serve is apple, which we would normally do, but you need a bit of time. The apple needs to sort of, kind of open up and sort of marry with the drink and then release flavors. So a berry just gives you that quick burst of fruit, which is kind of what we wanted to do. So I hope you like that. So that was the Portobello Road and the Karoon. That's 2 down, 2 to go. And the rest of the time, you're kind of stuck with me and probably Shane at some point later on. So we're going to move on to bottle number 3. Okay, so bottle number 3. And we're going to America now. So we've been to London, went to Scotland in the Highlands, and now we're going to the US. So this is called Perry's Tot Navy Strength Gin. And it comes in this kind of cool, tall looking bottle. And this is a gin made by the New York Distillery in New York, obviously, because it's New York Distillery. And they're based in Williamsburg, which is a little borough in Brooklyn. So the kind of what inspired them is a guy called Matthew Calbreth Perry, obviously. And he was a naval officer. He was a commandant in the US Navy around about the 1840s. And he eventually sort of got positioned and stationed at the New York Naval Yard in Brooklyn. And he stayed there for, the rest of his sort of career, if you like. And he was kind of an advocate for the Navy and all things new in the Navy and modernizing the Navy. And he became a bit of a sort of a well-known figure in that part of the country. So they sort of latched onto that story of Matthew Perry and decided to call this Navy gin Perry's Tot.
Is that Matthew Perry the same as in Friends then?
Huh? Matthew Perry, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Matthew Perry. I shouldn't have forgotten the name, should I?
Yeah, no.
So that's where the story comes from. Now, this we thought we'd include, because it's a US gin, and not many people are kind of familiar with the fact that US do some really good gin, and also because as a gin, it's very different to the others that we've got. So let's give it a swirl. So just on your nose, if you're nosing, sometimes you see, especially wine tasters sniffing like this, right, out of different nostrils. And that's because your nostril works in different ways. So at some parts of the day, your left nostril is going to work better. Other parts of the day, the right nostril is going to work. And it's independent of everyone else. So everyone has their own different times of day as to which nostril is working better. So when you do that, it will help you work out which nostril is getting more. Now, probably I can hear a lot of you saying this is just burning your nose hairs.
I'm actually getting honey and like creamy tones from it. It's not really that burning for me. I don't know.
I'm getting a bit of burn in this, but I'm getting a lot of that kind of dried. I think there is a sweetness. It could be honey. Is there honey in this? I don't think there's honey in this. Maybe there is.
I'm not sure.
There is honey. There is honey.
Is there honey? Yeah, I'm not sure the botanicals in this one.
Yeah, there is honey. But it's quite strong. But it's different, right? So there's a lot more kind of classic juniper. There's a lot more dried spices in there. There's a lot more herbs. It's not really floral. It's not really fruity. It's kind of what you associate with more of a classic London dry style of gin. Just a lot of juniper.
Yeah, juniper's quite apparent.
And then, there is that spice, right? So there's some anise, there's some cardamom, coriander seeds. There's
orange. Is there orange in there?
There's orange, definitely orange.
Yeah.
So you're getting that spice. You get a bit of heat. You're getting almost like cut grass. Let's go for. I mean, it's really strong, right? I mean, that's a bit of alcohol, but it's also a lot of pepper. So let's go for a taste. Wow. A lot of pepper. There's a load of pepper in there. All that cardamom, cinnamon, that star anise, all really coming through. Sarah says she's getting the citrus honey, but dry, as you say. Yeah. What do you think of that?
You can't swallow because I've got to drive, so I'm being very careful. I get cinnamon and clove as well, almost like it's all those kind of warming spices coming through.
Yeah. There's definitely all that warming spice. Definitely, that's really kind of the driving force.
Yeah, and now I'm definitely getting more of an orange hit. I don't really get any kind of. Oddly, I don't get any kind of grassy or earthy notes that you were getting on the nose. I'm not getting that on the palate. It's very much more winter warming spices, a nice citrus, creamy texture to it. But I'm not finding it too herbal or earthy on the palate. Unless that's just me.
No. Everyone's different, right? Everyone's different. I mean, like you say, the thing that you are getting most is that spice. That's the thing that's there the most.
It's a really nice finish on the palate, though.
Yeah, I'm getting that honey now, just on the tip of my tongue as well. That honey sweetness. So to this, we're going to add normal tonic. Okay, so we're just going to add the regular tonic here, and again, 2-to-1 or 50-50. It's up to you. What you prefer, how you want to drink it. But it's just enough.
Joe's getting more creamy notes as well, and Sarah's getting the honey.
Have we only got 3 people?
Just commenting, commenting wise, yeah.
Apart from Alison, who I'm really, really sorry. I don't know how we messed Alison's up.
I don't know what's happened there. I will literally. I've got to go back to the shop after this because I've left some shopping there. So I will get I'll get a set and drop it to Jas because he's got the samples and he can drop that to you tomorrow. So yeah, I apologise for that. I don't know what the hell's happened there.
Yeah, clearly it's my fault, isn't it? Because I would normally deliver to her. So
I don't want to say, but you know.
Yeah, I know. We all know where the finger points.
That's a really nice lingering taste after, actually.
Yeah, it's really, really good on it. But do you not get that dryness at the end? That dry herby?
No,
in the middle of your tongue? No.
I've got a certain dryness, yeah, but it's not so much, unless I'm confusing the earthiness to the juniper, because that's what I'm kind of lingering now, is that the spices are kind of easing away, and now I've got that kind of lingering taste of juniper, the way you know you've had a gin. But it's not kind of, I know it's not grassy or earthy. Okay. That's the weird, yeah.
It's probably just me.
But I have the worst tongue in the world. Mine gets crazy notes.
So now with the tonic, it's definitely sweeter. This is generally why with a Navy strength gin, you want to go with a lighter tonic or something that has less sugar, because that sweetness really comes through when you add normal tonic. But it's quite nice because the gin was quite dry, quite peppery. So with that tonic, it dries off a little bit. Well, sorry, the pepper dries off a little bit, and then suddenly it just turns into a nice kind of refreshing style of drink. And we're going to add pink grapefruit. So pink grapefruit peel. So kind of as we did with our previous one, we're just going to take the peel of the grapefruit.
So even Joe's she's saying not herby on the palate.
Yeah.
So it's not just me. It's not just me.
It's not just you. So we take the grapefruit like this, and we're just going to take the peel. So squeeze it again, and those oils, all that flavour of the grapefruit is in those oils. And just let it wash over the glass. We don't need to cut a wedge or a piece of fruit because we don't want to add acidity to the drink. So we can just add the flavour with that skin. I mean, look, if you're going to make a hot day like this, a big long gin and tonic, loads of ice, you might want to put in a slice of lemon or a slice of lime because it would help with the freshness. But in essence, you don't need it because that flavour is in the skin.
Actually, Joe was just saying there, neat was a little bit too spicy, but the tonics kind of opened it up, which is kind of true with quite a few gins. You know, you need that tonic to kind of open up some of those botanicals and some of those notes.
Yeah, and then look, you know, in the past we've gone sort of different ways. If a gin's quite spicy, we've added some spice to it as a garnish. But here, with the addition of pink grapefruit, especially on a day like today, it's really helped round off and kind of make the whole drink kind of nice and rounded, because you got that spice, you got that pepper, you got the sweetness, and then you've got this lovely citrus of the grapefruit with that touch of bitterness just cutting through.
Have they at all? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you know that, but have they over the years changed the recipe at all? Because you know when they had the bottle change, did anything change? Because I'm sure I remember having this going back many years. I mean, we've had it in the shop since even when we back when we had Harpen in the store, but I can't remember it being like this. It seems like it was a different recipe. I don't know if they know whether or not they've changed it or.
I don't remember it being as peppery.
Yeah, that's what I don't remember that at all.
But I'm not sure if there's a recipe change. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I know batches sometimes differ, so whether or not there has been, you know, like we say, we're talking 5-7 years ago, so
yeah, I'm not exactly sure, no. But now with that addition of the grapefruit, there's that lovely sort of tingle of that pink grapefruit on there. I'm not a fan of pink grapefruit, so I won't have any more. But it's a nice addition, right? So you've got that tonic, which adds a sweetness, and then you've got the grapefruit that just brings back some of that citrus and some of that bitterness back. And it makes a really good gin and tonic, actually. And it takes you on a bit of a journey.
Is it just pink grapefruit or any grapefruit?
I used pink grapefruit, but if other people had, you know, normal grapefruit, then they might have a slightly different, you know, experience. But pink grapefruit generally is better with gin and tonics, generally.
Yeah. I tend to find if someone doesn't really like pink grapefruit, then orange is the best bet to go for as an alternative. Even blood orange, I guess you could use as blood
orange.
Yeah.
Well, there's a touch of sweetness with the orange, so lemon's quite good.
Yeah,
that lovely sweet freshness. Vicky says she loves the pink grapefruit, maybe generally, but she said it works well with the gin.
So that's getting the spices there as well with the tonic. Yeah.
Yes, that's Perry's Top. That's a Navy strength from the New York distillery in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. And their sort of 40% version is Dorothy Parker, which is also very good. A lot more floral, none of that sort of spicy, peppery sort of notes. It's a lot more floral, a lot easier to drink. Also makes a really nice gin and tonic. So, moving on, bottle number 4. Everyone, bottle number 4.
Just find my scroller.
So this is the last one of the evening. And it's actually, I know we don't stock this gin a lot, right? We just never seem to get it in because we've got so many brands that we work with. It's really hard to get enough space on the shelves, especially in our shop as we are. But this is really and truly one of my lovely sort of favorite gins, and it's Conker, right? So Conker gin. So the regular gin is the one that we've always had in the past. That's the one that I'm referring to as one of my favorites. And this is a new one to us, and it's the Navy strength. So a percentage of all, so I think it's 5% of every bottle goes towards the RNLI. So they've raised about 30K, over 30K to now. And actually, I should say that Portobello Road, which was the first one we had, also donate some of their sales to ocean welfare charities. So any charities that are, you know, sort of committed to making the oceans healthier, some of their money goes towards that as well. So there are good reasons to invest.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I read that the other day. Yeah, it's good about that.
So these guys send money to the RNLI, which is also obviously very, very important. And those kinds of charities don't really get a lot of funding. They're not on people's radar generally. So this is Conker, right? So this is a story of Rupert Holloway. So Rupert Holloway was what was he? He was a surveyor of some sort, whether it was a charter surveyor, quantity surveyor, I don't know, some sort of surveyor. And he got to the ripe old age of 29, and he decided that actually he didn't want to do this for the rest of his life. He wanted to live a bit. He wanted to say that he's achieved something with his life. So one Friday after work, he emailed his boss and said, don't expect to see me on Monday morning because I'm not coming back. That's me done. So he just quit. And he sort of didn't really know what he was going to do. Well, he did have an idea that what he was going to do, but he sort of just did it off the spot, right? He must have had a hard week and just quit. Sent a message to his wife and said, I've just quit my job. I'm going to start a gin distillery.
But that went well.
Well, so the story goes that she replied with a two-word text message, and predictive text auto-corrected the second word. So it came back as "you conquer" is what came back. So hence the name Conquer. That's where the name, it said, comes from. So, but
that's really good.
But basically, he's based down in Dorset. There was no gin distilleries in Dorset. There was no history of distilling in Dorset. So, we can't pull on these amazing stories of, this was set up here because of this amazing history and it was the first distillery in England and all this sort of stuff. There's none of that. It's really just he lives in Dorset. Dorset, coastal. Why isn't there a gin distillery here? There's loads of great ingredients. So he decided to set one up. Since then, there is now a few distilleries in Dorset, but he was the original. And so let's open it up and see what we get. So Conquer Gin. So very different, right? Very different to the others.
Juniper's quite strong on this one.
Do you think?
Mm.
You getting juniper? Yeah, look, juniper's there, but that's not the thing that I noticed first.
Citrus?
I noticed this fruity sweetness.
I want to say like a almost coastal, but then that's too obvious, isn't it?
I mean, look, coastal is there. You can't deny it. There is coastal. But there's this real this jammy sweetness that I'm getting first. Obviously, a juniper top, and then this thing just comes straight in the middle. It's this sweet kind of.
When you say jammy, you mean like red fruits or not?
A little bit of red fruit. It's just kind of this intense sweetness that I'm getting.
It's very, yeah, there is a sweetness, definitely.
That's kind of the first thing you get for me. And then apparently, I think there's elderberry, so you might get some of that freshness, again, fruitiness of the elderberry. There's definitely orange, as you mentioned.
I'm getting hints of mint as well.
Yeah, so there's something in here, which is samphire. So he uses samphire in his regular gin and in this one. And the samphire is basically, grows on the coast, the shoreline. So he picks it from there. And actually, samphire gives you this sort of almondy, cherry, Bakewell sweetness.
That's where your jammy sweetness is coming from, then. So
you're not really getting almond. I'm not really getting that almond. I'm not getting that nuttiness, but I'm getting that kind of almost that, that cake sweetness. That
it's a cherry Bakewell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go for a little taste. And again, very, very different to the others. A slight bit of pepper, but not really. I mean, there is some of that tingle of sort of maybe ginger, but there's a wash of fruity sweetness there. It's like that samphire is massive in what it's giving you of that sweetness. And the rest of your palate, apart from the tingle on the tip of my tongue, the rest of it is just sweet. Lovely and sweet. And that orange, right? That orange really comes through.
Yeah, orange is what's lingering for me at the moment. Warm in spice. The alcohol's stronger on this, though. That's what.
Do you think so? Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting if anyone else notices that.
Dryness is coming on the back of it. And see, now I'm getting a touch more like mint that I was seeing beforehand.
Yeah, I agree with you on that mint freshness, yeah. Yeah. So let's add some tonic, right? So they've recommended this gin really works well with a sort of a Moscow Mule style. So ginger beer or ginger ale works really well. What I've gone with on this particular one is a clementine tonic because, as Shane pointed out, the orange really comes through. You get that lovely sort of sweet bitterness of that peel of the orange there. So I thought the clementine would be a nice change to what we've had previously. So add as sort of your preference 2-to-1 if that's what you prefer.
I'm going to go a little bit heavier just because it will help water down this last bit, and then I can actually drink that.
See, look, Sarah said the same. Her friend says, Becca says that the alcohol seems stronger.
Mm.
But Sarah's getting more of that sweetness.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether or not it's just, it definitely comes across, compared to like the last one, the Perry Sot, and even actually Karun, this has more of that kick after.
Really?
It tastes more alcoholic, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. So we've had that clementine, right? So that clementine, that's really helped.
That works quite well, actually, the clementine, definitely.
Yeah, the orange really comes through. So let's quickly add our garnishes because we don't want to sort of leave that orange lingering around too much. So what we've gone for is a bit of lemon. No. I was going to add orange, but I think we've got too much orange. So let's add the lemon, right? We're going to add a lemon peel just to rein it back a touch. All right, so we'll go with the lemon peel and lemon thyme. So I couldn't get any lemon thyme, so I just went and picked some rosemary from the garden. And we're just going to add a touch of whatever you have. So if you've got lemon thyme, great. If you haven't, then rosemary or some other herb. And it's just about adding some of that, sort of something to complement that samphire in terms of that coastal freshness. So I've added lemon and rosemary to mine. You might have lemon and lemon thyme if you could get it. And then give it a swirl, let it all sort of marry up together. It's good. That lemon really works with the gin. That rosemary really works. And
I would have, if I was using rosemary, I know you've used lemon there, but I always take in my head, I always think of using grapefruit with rosemary. Lemon would if I'm going savoury citrus option, I would use lemon and basil. It's just notes that I have in my head,
Yeah, no, they would work as well. That absolutely work. I mean, I had written down here orange with lemon thyme.
Yeah.
But because we added the clementine, I think it would be too much. So I think the orange. So let me know what you went with and which you preferred. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, all of them, to be honest. I mean, I think I've not had the Karun before, and actually, even to be honest, Conker. Perry Tots was a long time ago, and Portobello, I think, is again another one I haven't tried. So they've all been doesn't surprising, and none of them. Again, this is what I was saying at the beginning. None of them really overbearing. I think this for me was the one that kind of tasted the most alcoholic.
Okay.
Especially at the end, that kind of last bit on the palate. That's when it kind of really wafted through. Yeah. But the other ones were really easy drinking.
Yeah, I thought it was really. It was a good selection, right? Good range, different ones, different styles, different parts of the world, and all different botanicals to add and merge with, in terms of garnish and flavour. So,
what's everyone's kind of favourites for in the evening? If you would put in the comments what your kind of order would be, if you think. I'm not too sure what I would go with as the. I think Karun, mainly because I have that sweeter tooth, and I like the things with that fruity tone to it. I think the same way I go for like whiskies with like a sherry tone. I think that with the Karun, that's probably the one that I would say is my favourite. Even then, probably closely followed by the Conker, I reckon.
So yours.
I think
was
Joe's saying the favourite of the night was the last one, I believe. Yeah, so that's the Conker. Sarah Cotton on that, and then number 3 for Vicky. So that was Perry's Tart. Okay, yeah. It's definitely different. Definitely different. What I remember. That's a nice gin.
I'm not sure I liked them all. I think the garnishes were different. I think the Karoon came out with that obvious sweetness for me, that real fruity sweetness, and the Conker had a different type of sweetness. I don't know. I can't decide. Joe says
just have all 4 of them.
2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay. See, it shows you, right? You can't tell.
Yeah.
You can't
tell. 3 and 4 for Vicky as well. So it's those last 2, I think, that have done quite well. But Sarah likes Portobello. Okay. And you'll be happy to know that Portobello is probably the cheaper out of all of them. I know it comes in a smaller bottle, but it is the cheaper. You will find Perry's Tart, considering it has to come away from New York, is quite a bit more. But they're all fabulous value for money in terms of my opinion. Don't forget as well, when it comes to Navy gins, they should always be served the right way in terms of a full measure. But there are a lot of people that buy them to get the value out of them as well, because you can serve less, and you'll still get a really great gin and tonic by serving less, which means you make the bottle last longer. That's another way of doing it.
Navy strength's the way, because as Shane says, you can serve less calories. Not that
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
But anyway, so
I also think Navy strength gins as well are the great ones to use in cocktails. I know it does make them a bit more dangerous, but also it makes them taste more alcoholic. Because if you think when you're doing, for example, I put there a demo of just an apple martini. If you use normal gin, you can kind of lose all that alcoholic flavour, whereas these actually still keep a bit of that kick in there. Yeah,
for me, Navy strength is the way to go every time, or higher strength gin every time, because you don't lose that gin. So that was our Navy strength gin tasting. Hopefully you found something you different that you might like. Everything's available on our website. You get 15% discount code. And what is that code, Shane?
Yeah, so the code is, if you in your tasting set, you've all got the tasting card. If you turn it round to the back, you'll have a note there. I think it's Taste 15, or Craft. No, I think it's Taste 15. If you use that on our website, I've literally just finished uploading all the products onto the site. So if you just search what you need, rather than having to kind of message us this time, you can just go on there and purchase what you need. If you're local, you can pick up from the store. If not, then we can post it down to you. Just use your code 15%. It's a big discount. You'll probably find that's going to make the gins cheaper than anywhere else you'll find online. So it's worth doing if you picked a favourite from this evening. And then, like we mentioned at the beginning there, if any of you there are yourself whiskey drinkers, or you're looking for that perfect gift for Father's Day, which is upcoming, so we will be releasing a tasting on Monday, which is going to be a Father's Day whiskey tasting, and the special offer that we've got, which will probably be only announced via the email and our social media, is a discount code to give you buy one get one free. So a great value for money. So that way that your father can enjoy it and you can join along, or maybe you've got a son that wants to join in with him, then you get both your sets, and you can either meet at the same household or do it virtually if that's the best thing for you as well. So I think what we'll have to do, I don't think we'll be able to send the sets separately though. I don't think we can do that, Jess. So you'll have to obviously get both sent to the same house, and then you can get them where you need to go. But we'd rather get one free on that. Gin-wise, I don't think we have one booked yet, do we, Jess? So we'll probably try and put something together and release that as well. So maybe something, again, based around summer, as we're getting the really nice weather now. Good idea. Yeah. Cool.
Good.
Other than that, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah. Another great tasting.
Enjoy your Saturday evening. You've got plenty of light left, so go and sit in the garden, have some gin and tonics, and tell us about your headaches next time we see you.